Excellent.
Hello.
Just wanted to ask to start off, obviously with the Women's Royal Rumble coming up, Royal Rumbles are typical for legendary wrestlers coming back. I was just wondering if there's a particular legendary woman that you'd love to face in the Royal Rumble.
Well, of course, I would love to see Trish Stratus, Lita, anyone of that time I would love, because, you grew up watching them, and then to be able to potentially share the ring with them would be, a dream come true. It would be so cool.
Awesome. Now, obviously, we've got the Women's Royal Rumble coming up. You're Miss Money in the Bank as well, so there's the possibility of a double title shot available to you. Is WrestleMania when you'd be looking to maybe cash in Money in the Bank, even if you don't win the Rumble?
I'm not going to give away my plans, but obviously I don't do anything small. Everything I do is controversial, and it's a big deal. So I will say that whenever I do cash in, it's going to be a big deal, and you're not going to want to miss it.
Absolutely. And finally, I just wanted to ask, obviously, women's wrestling has come so far with the Women's Revolution. We've had women headlining pay-per-views, had them wrestling at Hell in a Cell. You won Money in the Bank. And with the Rumble coming up as well, I just wonder, where do you see the Women's Revolution going next, like in terms of match types? What would you like to see WWE's women do next?
The sky is really the limit for the women. Obviously, I think all of the women can agree that to main event WrestleMania would be just, huge, or to main event one of the big 4 pay-per-views of the year would be, the next step, I would think. But, of course, to be able to be main event in WrestleMania, it would just be unreal.
Okay, fantastic. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joey. We're going to move over to Neil Docking. Go ahead, Neil. Neil, you still there? All right, we'll skip Neil. We'll go to Liam at Vulture Hound. Liam, are you there?
Hello.
Yep. Who we got?
No, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I wanted to ask, obviously lately I think that Carmella's personality on television has really come along a long way. So I was kind of just wanting to know, who are kind of some of your influences from a personality perspective, and who are some of the producers backstage who are really kind of helping you develop?
Well, to be honest, I've come up with Carmella completely on my own. She's somebody that I've just, from the NXT days. I will say Byron, I always credit Byron Saxton for helping me, sort of spark the Carmella that I am now, and when I first started in NXT. But she's just somebody that I've kind of evolved myself, and I just love the Carmella character. It's so over the top and so extra. And, she's not afraid to be herself and say what's on her mind, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I, in my real life, wish I could be like Carmella a little bit more. But, yeah, Staten Island, moonwalking, trash talking, and now 2-time Miss Money in the Bank.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Sports Kita, you can go ahead.
Yes, one thing. Hello, Carmella. This is Vijay from Sports. I had a few questions. Firstly, congratulations on winning the Miss Money in the Bank briefcase. My question is, you wrestled as a babyface in NXT, and you turned heel when you came to the main roster. Which one do you think is closer to the real Carmella?
Could you repeat the last part of that question? Which one do I what?
Yeah, you portrayed, I got you. You portrayed both on television, once in NXT and then on the main roster. What do you feel is more like the actual Carmella?
Oh, the Carmella you're seeing right now. Being a babyface is fun and everything, but I think everyone would prefer that it's much more fun to be bad.
Cool. And I also have a question about the mixed match challenge. How do you feel about the big news of the thing?
Oh, Big E's awesome. I love the New Day. They're so fun, and we've been having a blast putting out all of these little videos and vignettes we've been doing. I don't know if you've seen them where I ate 100 pancakes, and it's just been so much fun, and it's great to be able to show a different side of my character. And I'm just really looking forward to it. I mean, it's different, and it's exciting anytime that the men get to interact with the women, and now we get to have this intergender match against The Miz and Asuka, who are going down. I'm going to give Asuka her first L ever. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
And my final question, do you think Ronda Rousey will be coming to WWE? And if so, do you think, do you want to face her in the future?
Well, I honestly have no idea. You probably know more than I do about Ronda Rousey coming in the WWE. But I will say that I'm not scared of anyone, and I have the Money in the Bank contract. So at the end of the day, that makes me the most dangerous woman in the WWE.
Thank you.
Great. Miguel at Neox?
Yes, I'm here. Carmella, how are you?
I'm fabulous.
Hi.
Thank you.
As we all know, you are the first women to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase. Does that take away the pressure for the Royal Rumble match?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, does that take away what? I didn't catch that either. Miguel, can you repeat that?
Yes. As we all know, you are the first women to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase. Does that take away the pressure for the Royal Rumble match?
Yeah, Carmella, he's just asking if because you hold the Money in the Bank briefcase, does that take away from the Royal Rumble, or is it still something that you have your sights on winning?
Oh, okay. No, well, I mean, this gives me 2 chances to win the women's championship, so why wouldn't I take that? So I'm going to go into the Rumble, and I'm going to plan on winning, and I'm not going to, take no for an answer, plan on winning. And for whatever reason I don't, I always have my backup plan with the contract. So I have 2 chances, which makes me, that much more likely to become champion than any of the other women on the roster. So.
Okay, and which NXT stars you like to see in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, I would love to see Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. I think they're amazing. They're iconic. I think they are doing great things down in NXT. And I really, really just think that they're awesome. So I really think they'll be able to add some things to the Rumble. Also, Ember Moon. I think that, she's obviously a great champion. And they're doing great things in NXT. So I hope that I get to see them in the Rumble. And throw them over the top rope, of course.
Okay, and the last one, what are your thoughts about the 25th anniversary of Raw and Carmella not being part of this 25th anniversary?
Oh, I'm going to be there, that's for sure. This is history. 25 years. I'm going to be there. I'm excited for it. There's going to be so many big names and legends, and you never know what could happen, so I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Okay, Carmella, thank you so much for your time. Greetings from Spain, and good luck in this Royal Rumble.
Oh, thank you.
Luis Lopez, you can go ahead.
Yes, hi, Carmella. A women Royal Rumble match is a great opportunity. Do you think that women will be in the WrestleMania main event Saturday?
Can you repeat that? I just heard a bunch of beeping. Sorry.
Yes. A women Royal Rumble match is a great opportunity. Do you think that women will be in the WrestleMania main event someday?
The main event of WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Of course they will. I mean, the women in the last few years have just made such a change and a difference in sports entertainment. The first Hell in a Cell match, first main event of a pay-per-view. I'm the first ever two-time undisputed Miss Money in the Bank. We are making history. Now the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. So the sky is the limit for the women, and I have no doubt that we will absolutely main event WrestleMania one day.
Okay. Do you have any strategy to beat big women like Tamina or Nia Jax in the Royal Rumble match?
Well, of course, women like Nia Jax and Tina, they are strong and they're powerful and they're, a lot bigger than I am. I'm one of the smallest girls that will be in this Royal Rumble match. But I'm pretty smart and I'm pretty crafty. And I won the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. So I have some tricks up my sleeve, but I'm not going to reveal them, that's for sure.
And the last one, if you wouldn't win the Royal Rumble match, have you seen about and change your Money in the Bank briefcase that night or at WrestleMania?
Well, I don't like to do anything ordinary. I have this contract and I can cash it in anywhere, anytime. Maybe it will be at WrestleMania, maybe it will be before, maybe it will be after. Who knows? But I just know that when I do cash it in, it's going to be a really big deal, and you're not going to want to miss it. It's the first ever, first time. So it's going to be huge.
Okay, thank you so much, Carmella.
Thank you.
Thanks, Luis. We can move over to Steve Adams if you're ready, Steve.
Good morning, Carmella. Greetings from Melbourne, Australia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you. Good, thank you. Carmella, one thing that I want to touch on is you mentioned that the women making great movement in sports entertainment, especially WWE. You've had the Royal Rumble, or you're about to have the Royal Rumble. You've had the Money in the Bank, which you're currently holding. What sort of match would you like to see, such as a Hell in the Cell, tables and ladders? What next match would you like to participate in?
I think I would love to be in a TLC match because obviously I'm a lot smaller than some of these other girls, so I need some weapons, I need to do whatever I can to try to take these women out. So I think that would be really cool to be a part of a TLC match.
Fantastic. And my second question is, if you can go up against any wrestling legend, past or present, who would you like to take on?
So I think I'm going to be so bold as to say I would love to face Asuka. I know that I have her in the mixed match challenge next week, but I really want to make history again. I want to break the streak, so I would love to have a one-on-one match against Asuka.
Thank you. And my final question, which is a bit of an unusual one, obviously you hold the Money in the Bank, and I believe you can use it at any time in any match. Is that correct?
Correct.
Does that include the male matches?
Oh, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I think it's just the women.
Okay, no, just an idea. That's all. No worries. I appreciate your time. Thanks,
We're going to move over to David Dunn. Go ahead, David.
Hello, Carmella. Good morning from New Zealand. My first question, the women of Raw found out that there was going to be an all-women's Royal Rumble when they were in the ring and Stephanie McMahon announced it at the time. Where were you when you first heard the news?
I was in my hotel room watching Raw and saw it on TV. And it was
cool. And,
well, I mean, it was emotional seeing that, yeah.
All right. Obviously, that's going to be a massive historic thing. And yourself, as a two-time winner of the Women's Money in the Bank match, you've been a part of history before. These massive historic things that are happening lately, do they feel like that at the time? Do you get a sense of it as it's happening, or is it only really when you sit back and you're able to look back on these things that you realise just how significant they are in the landscape?
So, when we first found out about the Money in the Bank ladder match, at first, I'm going to be completely honest, I was scared. I feel like, okay, my body is not made to be thrown on ladders and getting hit with ladders, and I was a little scared, but I knew it was an opportunity to make history, and I was ready for it. I was all in. And at the time, of course, you know how big it is, but I think, like you said, when you finally look back on it. Sometimes I'm just at my house and the Money in the Bank contract is just, sitting there on my kitchen counter, and I think, oh my gosh, this is mine. I've won it. And I'm the first woman to ever hold this. And sometimes I just look at it and it's just unreal. So yeah, it's just really cool to be a part of this revolution. And now what's making history with the first Royal Rumble, and I get to be part of that as well. I just think, the sky is the limit, and it's such a super exciting time for women.
Absolutely. And then final one from me for the moment. I've just checked your Twitter feed, and just earlier, about 40 minutes ago, you put out a tweet, hashtag girls just want to be Carmella, and there's 9 photos there of women who have dressed up as Carmella. What's it like for you when there are people out there buying your merchandise, sending you these photos of them dressing up as you? What's it like having become a role model?
It's so unreal. It's really so cool. Whenever I pull up to our live events and I see little girls out there with a Carmella hat, and they have their own briefcase, and it's so surreal. And it's just exciting to know that I have the opportunity to show little girls to follow their dreams. I didn't come from wrestling. I haven't been wrestling my entire life. I've only been training for, less than 4 years. But I'm here, and I'm doing it, and I'm making history. And I just want to show little girls that, as long as they keep pushing and they can follow their dreams and do whatever it is that they want to do.
Fantastic. Very admirable stuff. And hey, all the best for the Royal Rumble.
Thank you.
We're going to move over to Arturo with Esto. Arturo, are you still there?
Good morning, Carmella. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you for your time. Well, you're known like the Princess of Staten Island, Money in the Bank, and the most fabulous diva in NXT. My first question, is it a great opportunity for you to show that you are the number one in the women's division in WWE?
Yeah, Carmella, he's just asking, I know it's low. If this is a great opportunity for you to show that you're the best in the women's division.
Oh, for the Royal Rumble?
Yep.
I can't, but I am the best in the women's division. I'm the first ever Miss Money in the Bank. I made history, and I like that people underestimate me. They think, I've only been doing this for a few years. I'm not Charlotte Flair. I'm not Sasha Banks. I'm not Becky Lynch, and that's okay. I don't want to be like them. I just want to be me, and I just want to continue to work hard and prove myself to everyone why I am the best, why I am the most fabulous chick, and why I'm going to be the first ever woman to cash in the contract and be successful and make history once again.
Okay, thank you. How do you feel after you won the first title of Money in the Bank? You're the first woman, to win Money in the Bank. How do you feel?
Oh, it's the best feeling in the world to know that no matter what happens in my career from this point on, I will always go down in the history books as the first ever. Not only once, but twice. It was controversial, and everyone was talking about it. It was trending worldwide for like 3 days. So no matter what happens, I will always go down in history, and for that I'm super grateful.
My last question, what's your opinion about the retirement of Paige?
Oh, honestly, I'm not quite sure what the situation is, but I think Paige is great, and I wish her nothing but the best.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmella. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Arturo. Did I miss anybody that hasn't asked a question yet?
I've not asked a question yet. It's Neil from the Daily Mirror.
Neil, sorry. I said your name. You must have joined after I did a little roll call. You can go ahead, Neil.
Oh, great. Thank you. Hi, Carmella. You okay?
I'm fabulous.
Good to hear. Just wanted to, obviously, you and James Ellsworth formed a really popular pairing at the end of 2016. and throughout most of last year, he helped you win a number of matches, most notably the first women's Money in the Bank ladder match. What was it like working with him, and how did you feel about him leaving the company in November?
Oh, James is great, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, we spent most of this 2017 together, and, it's unfortunate that we're not here anymore. We had a lot of fun together, but of course I wish him nothing but the best. He's a great guy, and like I said, we had a lot of fun together, so I'm grateful for this past year. It was history.
Yeah, definitely. It seemed like you bounced off each other quite naturally, like in promos and, all the sort of backstage segments. You could tell you were enjoying yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, now you're back on your own. You're preparing for the Royal Rumble. Have you competed in Battle Royal type matches before? How are you preparing for it?
Well, there was a Battle Royal match in NXT where I won and became the number one contender to face Bayley for the NXT Women's Championship. So I do have a history of winning Battle Royal matches. So you don't know. I mean, I'm thinking that maybe my expertise with winning that match, I could use that in the Royal Rumble match.
So you could find yourself spending, a long time in the ring. Sometimes in past Rumbles, people have been up to an hour, which can be quite physically grueling. But you're a certified fitness instructor, aren't you?
Yes, I mean, I'm a fitness instructor. I was a dancer for 23 years. And, those games in the NFL and the NBA, those aren't short games. So you're out there dancing for 3-4 hours at a time in the freezing cold, in the snow. And so I'm not worried about, outlasting any of these girls. I have some good experience in my back pocket.
All right, okay. And one more thing. You've spoken in the past about how Trish Stratus was a big inspiration to you. What was it about her as a performer and a character that resonated with you? And how special would it be if you found yourself standing across the ring from her in the Rumble?
Oh, gosh, it would be so unreal. I just think, we have a very similar history. She didn't come from wrestling. She was a fitness model, and, I think a lot of people doubted her and didn't think that, she would make it to where she did in her career. They just looked at her as a pretty face, but she, put in the work, and she was so great at what she did. And she, she's amazing. And to be able to potentially share a ring with her would just be so cool. So I'm really crossing my fingers.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil. Did anybody else that I missed that hasn't asked a question yet?
It's Ash Joe for football.
There you go, Ash. You all right?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, you can go ahead.
Hey, Carmella, how you doing?
Hello.
Good to talk to you. I wanted to talk about WrestleMania quickly because we're on the road now. It was your first sort of major one last year. What's it like competing on the grand stage of them all for WWE?
Oh, gosh, it's unreal. I have all those people out there looking at you while your music entrance music hits, and I definitely soaked it in this past year, just looking around and being able to moonwalk on that stage in front of everyone was just so cool. It's a moment that I will never forget. You never forget your first WrestleMania.
I also want to ask you about Total Divas. I've seen you on that show. How much did you enjoy being part of that? How different is that to, obviously, competing on WWE TV?
Well, of course, in WWE, you're playing a character. So then Total Divas, to have to be yourself in front of the cameras, it's a little bit more challenging. So that was something I had to try to get used to with the cameras around and just trying to be myself. But what you see on Total Divas is me. I'm not trying to put on a character or put on, any sort of scene to try to, get people to like me or hate me. It's just, if you like me, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. I'm just, here I am being myself. And I think anytime you put your real self out there, it puts you in a vulnerable position. So I've had a lot of fun with it, but it's also, it's definitely different than anything I'm used to.
I was speaking to Nia Jax about it earlier in the week as well, and she obviously has a close relationship with Alexa Bliss. Do you have a best friend in the industry? Is there someone that you lean on to or you're very close to?
One of my best friends is Bailey. Unfortunately, we're on separate brands, so we don't get to see each other that much, but we talk every day. And I don't know how I would make it through without her. She's always there for me, like through ups and downs, work, personal life, and she's the absolute best.
Brilliant. Great to talk to you. Good luck at the Rumble.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ash. Is there anybody else that I missed? Perfect. Does anybody have any follow-up questions for Carmella?
I do. Ritu from Sportskeeda.
Go ahead.
I had one final follow-up question. Right. So we just heard that Goldberg has been announced as the headliner for this year's Hall of Fame ceremony. What are your thoughts on that? And is there a woman that you'd like to see go into the Hall of Fame this year?
Well, I don't really know who. Gosh, that's a good question. I'm not quite sure. I'd have to think about that.
Does anybody else have any follow? Anybody else have any follow-up questions? All right.
Yeah, I was just Neil again from Memphis, sorry.
Go ahead, Neil.
I just wanted to mention one more thing about your partnership with James Ellsworth. When we saw you on the UK tour, basically when you got to turn on him and then he got his comeuppance with all the women in the SmackDown division roster hitting all sorts of finishes on him. So I'm going to ask you about how much fun that was and how it all came about.
Oh gosh, well I mean that was a blast. It started with our SmackDown TV show. He had a match with Becky, and he was just saying some broad things about women in general, and we all had to teach him a lesson. So even though all of us women may not get along necessarily, we all came together for the greater good of women and female power, and we had to teach him a lesson.
It was kind of a fitting exit for his character as well, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, his character came full circle. I mean, he started as this beloved underdog that, everyone was rooting for, the guy that wasn't supposed to make it. And then next thing him and I are kissing on TV. And then the next thing he's getting all full of himself. And we all had to teach him a lesson, so.
All right, brilliant. Okay, thanks again.
Thank you.